saved Tim Closer from a moment of embarrassment at the end of the half. He gave the ball away to Luis Muriel, and he scored the goal that has us level at 1-1. Until that point, Todd Cantwell had probably been the standout player for Norwich City, scoring a goal, involved in several other good pieces of play as well, and it's 1-1. Referee is Peter Banks, and he's just counting all the players on the pitch just to make sure that no one's trying to pull a pre-season friendly fast one. And we are ready to go, and I don't think Norwich City have made any further changes at half-time, so I'll remind you of the two lineups as we get going. But it's Norwich City now in their yellow and green, who will attack the river end of Carrow Road. That's right to left as we watch it from high on the south stand gantry. Atalanta in their white shirts with the blue and black stripes at the top of it, white shorts, white socks. So the ball is back with Fearman in the Norwich goal. The German launches the ball upfield, Cantwell competing for it, and I think he might got a flick onto that one, and Pukki chases it up towards the edge of the Atalanta penalty area, right-hand side. Ultimately, he's just out-muscled, but he's got a corner, and that is what Pukki did so well last season, really. Second favourite, a lost cause. It seemed as if Pasalic had beaten him to the ball, and he's managed to win a corner out of it there.
And even before that, me and probably the 10,000 people that are near watching tonight wouldn't have given Todd Cantwell a chance of getting that flick on, but he found a way.
Buendia's corner from the right. Godfrey gets a looping header to it, but it's looping a little too much up in the air, and easy for the goalkeeper, who is Pierluigi Gallini, to come and gather, and it remains 1-1. If you are just joining us, this game kicked off at 7 o'clock. We saw Todd Cantwell with a lovely controlled finish after 15 minutes, giving Norwich the lead. Then in the last minute of the first half, a bad mistake from Tim Closer, giving the ball away to Luis Muriel. And the Colombian, made no mistake at all. Muriel out-muscled there by one of the Norwich defenders, and the ball has gone back to Ralph Fearman, who's starting in goal for Norwich today. Byram, Godfrey, Closer and Lewis, the defenders. Tribal and Leitner in midfield, with Cantwell pushing on in that number 10 role. Buendia and Hernandez either side of Teemu Pukki in attack. I'll give you the Atalanta team next time we get an opportunity, but the ball has been hit long here for Hernandez to chase out towards the right-hand side. He looks determined, and he's got there, and he turns it brilliantly into the penalty area for Pukki, who puts it across the face of goal and wide. That was a good chance by Teemu Pukki standards. Norwich have successfully argued they should have a corner, and that's what's been given. But again, determination in a friendly. It would have been very easy for Hernandez just to give that one up and allow Atalanta to clear it, but you can see what this means to the Norwich players.
And the presence of mind as he's making that run away from goal, so he's almost running towards a corner flag, to be aware of where Pukki is in the penalty box and kind of turn the ball around to him first time.
Buendia's corner, left-hand side, Tribal's header this time off target over the top, and it's hit one of the green poles that stands behind the goal to keep the net in place. So still 1-1, but it's a couple of times already in this half that we've seen Pukki and Hernandez set off after balls upfield that, yeah, in a championship game or a Premier League game, you'd say, yeah, you give everything to chase it down. Perhaps not in a friendly, but they've given everything and got a couple of chances out of it, but not leading to anything. And now, that was a lovely touch there on halfway from the substitute Malinkovski for Atalanta, and it set them away on the left-hand side, but a poor ball in field allows Buendia to gather it, edge of his own penalty area. Plays it back to Jamal Lewis. Wasn't the kindest of passes, but Lewis has managed to sky it up the field, and Atalanta will have to build again from deep. It comes to Ataboa on this right-hand side, Dutch international. Eventually Pasalic, who's unknown from Chelsea, gets it back to Mazziello in the defence, and now Palomino on to Malinkovski, the player who came on in the first half, and finds Luis Muriel, edge of the penalty area. Challenge there from Byram is a good one. Sliding in, had to time it right, and he did, and he got the ball. The Norwich clear, and Leitner turns it forward, but as he does so, Pukki turns his back and doesn't realise the ball is coming straight to him, and Atalanta have it again. It's played back by Atalanta there, and eventually it's Lewis who gets a foot to it. Jamisti it was who cleared the ball forward for Atalanta. Now it's Tribal onto Leitner on halfway. Norwich City probing. Leitner finds Cantwell, who's got a bit of space here, 30 yards out. Reverse pass to Pukki in the penalty area. Pukki shot, good save from the goalkeeper Gallini. Pukki trying to beat the goalkeeper at the near post. Seemed to get a decent amount of power on the shot, but Gallini has turned it aside for the corner.
Yeah, and again, how well does Todd Cantwell do? That reverse pass into Pukki's feet. And I mean, given how high Pukki set his bar last season, you almost expect anything that falls to him within 12 yards of the goal, him to finish. He's had 3 chances tonight, could have had a hat-trick.
Buendia's corner headed away. Norwich competing for it still, but Atalanta have now got it away towards Papu Gomez, who was fouled there by Jamal Lewis. Just a little over-physical there, Lewis, and it will be Atalanta's free kick halfway inside their own half. They've got Galini in goal, a back three of Mazziello, Gimisti and Palomino. Pasalic and Darun, the central midfielders, with Hataboa and Gosens playing wide. The impressive Papu Gomez playing behind Luis Muriel, and now it's Ruslan Malinovsky, who has come on as a substitute after a first-half injury to Josip Ilic. And Atalanta, remember, third in Serie A last season, have the ball on the left-hand side. Muriel, a lively runner, taking on Godfrey here. Godfrey is determined, gets to the ball first and makes sure that it goes back to goalkeeper Fairman. And the Norwich fans are appreciating the effort that the Canaries players are giving this pre-season friendly.
Yeah, and again, I know it's a pre-season friendly, but they're the sort of things that you're kind of looking at this close to the season. How well is your centre-half going to do against a fast, strong opposition player as he's bearing down on goal? And for me, Godfrey there was immense.
Just 26 league starts for Norwich City. It could be that his 27th is at Anfield in 10 nights' time. Quite a journey for him and for all these Norwich players. That's a foul by Leitner. And again, Leitner there wasn't ever going to win that ball, but he just made sure that Malinovsky never got away from him, and it was no such thing as a good free kick to give away, but you could see what he was trying to do there. He just didn't make it easy for Atalanta to progress over halfway with the ball there, did he?
No, I was a bit worried when he kicked the ball back in his face there.
There's no power on it. There's no power with Leitner. It's always just delicately done, isn't it? It was an
outside of the boot
onto his nose. Yeah. Papu Gomez taking on Tim Closer. Closer wins that one, levering the Argentinian playmaker out of the way. Finds Jamal Lewis. Lewis goes back to goalkeeper Fairman, and he will take a couple of touches, finding Closer. And Closer this time doesn't put the ball back into his own penalty area as he did at the end of the first half, and that led to Atalanta's equaliser. It's 1-1 on BBC Radio Norfolk. An early kick-off tonight, 7 o'clock, so that gives us time for a full Canary Call. It's really our Canary Call season preview, coming 10 days before the start of the season. Any concerns you've got? Anything you want to raise before the start of the season with Rob Butler and Adrian Coop? Tonight is your opportunity on BBC Radio Norfolk at full time. Or even if you just want to come on and say how impressed you've been with some of the new signings that Norwich have made. We've seen Fairman and Byram so far tonight. I wonder whether we'll get to see Patrick Roberts and Josip Dermich a little bit later on. Hernandez chasing the ball forward on the left-hand side for Norwich City. Atalanta clear. Closer gathers. Gives it to Tom Tribal. Booked in the first half, Tribal, after entertaining tussle with Papu Gomez for much of the first half. Now here's Jamal Lewis on the left. Forward to Leitner, who tries to release Lewis. The ball has hit Leitner in the face and has rebounded kindly for Gimisti to, I'm going to say clear the ball away, but he's actually gone back to his own goalkeeper, Galini. And Atalanta will try and build from the back. More defending here for Godfrey to do. I say defending, he's actually in the Atalanta half, but Norwich was so far forward, he was the furthest outfield player back, and he had to charge back over halfway, making sure that Luis Muriel didn't get a clear run into the Norwich half, and he did it well. Buendia unable to hold on to possession there against the battling Giroud. Up towards Papu Gomez on halfway. Gomez easily away from Leitner, coming forward now, finding the ball onto the edge of the penalty area for eventually Luis Muriel. Pasalic it was who played it forward, but Godfrey's there, sweeping up and knocking the ball away for a throw-in.
Yeah, just there to clear the danger. I mean, he's another one for me that, I mean, he was great for us last season, but he just seems to be that extra step stronger and quicker and getting round and able to mop up the danger there.
Throw it. Hataboa finds Papu Gomez on the right-hand side. Back it comes to Pasalic, who spreads the play towards the edge of the Norwich penalty area eventually. Luis Muriel laying the ball off to Gosens, who will cross low from the left. Closest there to clear again, and that will be a throw-in for Atalanta. Almost up against the corner flag on the left-hand side in front of the Snake Pits corner of Carrow Road, which is sparsely populated tonight. We keep saying it, don't we? But it's very strange to see empty seats in this ground.
Yep.
It's been full for pretty much every league game for so many years. Now Atalanta have it on the left-hand side, halfway inside the Norwich half. It's Pasalic, the Croatian international, allows Gimisti to take over. Plays the ball inside, and a lunging challenge there made by Closer, and he timed it well actually and got the ball. Papu Gomez has stayed down, but play continues, no foul. And Norwich race forward with Onel Hernandez. He's got Lewis in front of him. Lewis just tackled there by a stretching Hans Hataboa. And out it goes for a throw into Norwich City, which they've already taken. Papu Gomez has just picked himself up, still complaining. No one's listening to him, so he's trying his luck with the goalkeeper, Ralph Fearman, who I think is telling him in polite terms and pre-season friendly terms where to go. And Gomez rejoins the play, but the action's at the other end with Jamal Lewis on the attack for Norwich City, left wing. Plenty of players back for Atalanta. Not easy for Lewis to find a way forward here. He looks for Campbell, who shifts it inside but can't pick out a teammate. And Atalanta, just by sheer weight of numbers there, have managed to get possession back. And here's Muriel in the centre circle, finding Malinovsky, who came on towards the end of the first half. Rolled now through the midfield, and Daroon out to Gosens on that Atalanta left. He's taking on Byram. I think he might get past Byram here. No, Byram recovers really well, just as it looked as if Robin Gosens had got the better of him. Byram stretched out and just as close as it did a moment ago, going to ground, taking a risk with the challenge, but timing it to perfection, putting it behind for the corner.
I missed that. I was watching Muriel, just his movement as he was breaking and seeing where he was going, and I just noticed him kind of stop where he was and grab his hamstring, and he's limping quite a lot. And I wonder if the kind of game for him is almost over.
Corner taken by Atalanta. I think they have got a substitute getting ready. And out it goes for a throw in to Norwich City. And you're quite right. And Papu Gomez has been impressive, but Muriel has been their most dangerous attacker, hasn't he? He scored the goal.
Yeah, he has. But equally, I think Godfrey's well matched him. You know.
It remains 1-1. We've been playing for 56 minutes on BBC Radio Norfolk for this pre-season friendly at Carrow Road. Onel Hernandez tussling on the left-hand side, losing possession there a little bit tamely to Malinovsky. And Atalanta just enjoying the better of possession at the moment. Hataboa on the right-hand side, charging forward, corner of the penalty area, hits cross, and Byram's able to clear for a throw in. It's a good job he did get there, because that man we've just been talking about, Luis Muriel, was lurking behind him.
Yeah.
And had that beaten Byram, there was no one else back, so it would have been a clear
empty net, pop it in, walk off the pitch.
Yeah, they do have a substitute ready, as do Norwich City actually. Kenny McLean's going to come on in a moment. And possibly Dermich as well getting ready to come on. So it looks as if we are nearly an hour gone. We're getting to that point in pre-season friendlies where the substitutions do start, and you have to keep your concentration to remember who's on the pitch and who's not.
Yeah, I mean, you have to assume it's Pukki coming off for Dermich. And in terms of the 60 minutes he's had, his movement's been sharp, he's been lively, he's gotten in behind, he's had chances. So it's been a productive run out for him.
I'm also interested in the change that's going to come at the other end, because you spotted Muriel's injury, and Duvan Zapata is going to come on, another Colombian player, 28 goals last season. Looks like he might come on. Challenge comes in from Byram, and Norwich have got possession back. So certainly Atalanta are going to make a change, and I think Norwich are going to make two next time the ball goes out of play. Remember, Tribal's on a yellow card, so maybe that will be the thinking in bringing McLean on. This is good from Buendia. Got away from 2 or 3 challenges, but Luis Muriel, who's already injured, you know, even in a friendly, is back in his own half making a challenge there, and he seems to have made it worse.
Yeah, he's.
You can't fault the commitment, but was that the most intelligent thing to do when he's already injured, running back into his own half to try and make a challenge on Buendia? And he's still trying to play on, but he looks in a bad way.
Yeah.
Anyway, here come Atalanta with Daroon. The ball's in the Norwich penalty area. Gosens tackled again by Byram, and behind for an Atalanta corner. Again, you can't fault the commitment that Luis Muriel is showing, but now look at this. He's squaring up to Buendia. He's taking it too far now, Luis Muriel. It didn't look like Buendia did anything wrong. Muriel slid in to try and make the challenge, and it's all getting a little bit much there. And actually, Muriel is staying on. The number 10 has been held up by the Atalanta, by the 4th official, which would suggest that Papu Gomez is going to come off. So that's a little bit of a surprise.
Yeah.
We thought Luis Muriel was struggling, but it will be Gomez who will make way for Duvan Zapata. And they're going to keep Muriel on the pitch.
Yeah, maybe it's not hamstring, maybe it's a knock on his knee or his ankle that he's trying to run off. But when I was watching him, I certainly saw him grab the back of his leg as if it was his hamstring. And I can't see the value in carrying on if it is.
The former Sampdoria man is on. Duvan Zapata. Corner to Atalanta. Left-hand side. 1-1. Almost an hour played. It's played into the penalty area now. Headed on and cleared from the edge of the 6-yard box by Closer. And then further away by Buendia. Looks like Norwich have a third substitute ready to come on as well now. And Patrick Roberts is going to make his Carrow Road bout along with Dermich. So 2 new signings who played starring roles at the weekend in a 5-1 win at Luton are both going to come on. And maybe it will be that Pukki and Buendia, who both missed that game on Saturday with knocks of their own, are going to get a little bit of a rest here, but we shall see. As Yellow clears it forward for Atalanta, and now we see Zapata for the first time bearing down on Godfrey, but Godfrey's got this one under control. 15 love in that battle.
Yeah.
And it comes out to Jamal Lewis, 1-1. Pleasant evening here on BBC Radio Norfolk, nice and warm, although you keep getting caught out by the odd shower of rain. And the ball is back with Fairman, the goalkeeper for Norwich City, who made a lively start to the second half, with Pukki going close a couple of times, but haven't really threatened for the last 5-10 minutes. And maybe Daniel Farke thinking some fresh legs will add some more attacking impetus for them. Here's Tribal. Brings it up towards the halfway line. He's got no shortage of players making a run further forward, but he's laid it off to Leitner. Now Buendia plays it, finds Pukki, 20 yards from goal. Timu Pukki, can he get the shot away? Yes, he can, but no power on it, and the goalkeeper makes the save. That might have been one of those borderline offside VAR calls, that one.
Yeah. I hope we get to use this nice-looking Lilliput screen that we've got here tonight.
Well, I'm just going to be interested to see how it all works.
Yeah.
Because they have got VAR in operation tonight. Presumably, you know, they'll want the opportunity to test it before it's needed in the Premier League. And I'm just really interested in how it's going to work at Carrow Road, how they'll use the big screen in the corner to keep supporters informed as to what's going on, because that's one of the main concerns with it, as Atalanta get Zapata away here on the edge of the penalty area. Duvan Zapata finds De Roon, played on now to Luis Muriel, who's got his second goal of the night, and Atalanta are leading by 2-1, but this might be
offside.
The VAR check.
Yeah, here we go, Chris.
Because the ball put in by Luis Muriel, but straight away the referee signalled, and he's standing there now, Peter Banks, with his finger to his earpiece. The ball found its way across to Muriel, and we have now the Norwich City badge has appeared on the screen, the big screen in the corner of the ground. We've got our monitor here, we're seeing it again. Zapata plays the ball to De Roon, on to Luis Muriel, who tucked it away neatly first time.
Onside for me.
At first glance it didn't look offside, but it's still, as far as I can see, nobody in the ground has officially been told that we've got a VAR check in progress. It's pretty obvious because the referee is standing with the ball in his hand on the edge of the penalty area. He's pointed to the halfway line. That is a goal. It may well be the first VAR check we've had at Carrow Road, and it ends with a goal for Atalanta. Not too much controversy about it. And Luis Muriel, who we all thought was injured a moment ago, has fired in his second goal, and they lead 2-1.
A little bit underwhelmed by that, because I thought we were going to see the whole replays and all the angles and the slow-mo and the freeze frame.
So Norwich are taking off Campwell to bring on Roberts. Dermich has come on. I think Pukki has gone off, and Kenny McLean has replaced Tribal. So 3 substitutions made by Norwich City. And of course, pre-season friendly, managers can make as many changes as they like. So Roberts replaces Campwell, and now he goes to the right. Buendia comes in field, Hernandez on the left. Dermich is up front, with Pukki having gone off, and McLean lines up alongside Leitner in midfield. So more players getting a chance to impress. 2-1, Atalanta will leading this game now, and Norwich City will feel they're trailing, a game in which they haven't done an awful lot wrong, Adrian Coote.
Yeah, architects of our own downfall a little bit. You know, you look at the silly goal that we've given away before half-time. I know it's a pre-season friendly, and we could talk about not doing it in the Premier League, but what you also want to be looking to get out of these games is, you know, your good habits. You're practicing doing the right thing. And, you know, I'm not saying that goal has impacted our second half, but it just feels like it's been a completely different second half. It's been flatter. We've had opportunities, but nowhere near as crisp in our movement and as our passing as we were in the first half.
Just haven't quite got going, have they, since half-time? Hernandez doing his best on the right-hand side, winning possession. Dermich makes something of it. Comes to Patrick Roberts on the edge of the penalty area. He plays the ball across, takes a deflection, nearly finds Dermich in the 6-yard box, but goalkeeper Galini gathers it. And Dermich on.
Haven't seen Dermich play, but I love him already. You score your first hat-trick for your new club, what do you go and do? Release a single.
Yes. I've seen it mentioned on social media, but I've not heard it yet, so I'm unable to give it a rating.
Swiss wrap,
Do you like
apparently.
it?
I've not heard it.
You've not heard it either. Maybe it's best that
I
we
daren't, just in case I did.
Let's keep some mystery about it, shall we? Just in case we don't like it, because we don't want to take against Josip Drmic too soon. Well, I did see that had come out. 2-1 to Atalanta. Whether or not sales of that particular wrap are going to go down well in Norfolk depends on how Drmic starts his Norwich career over the next few weeks. That hat-trick up at Luton on Saturday was a good sign, but he'll need to do it in bigger games than that to really make an impact. Here come Atalanta again with Amichevole on the right-hand side. Back it goes to Luis Muriel, who swings it into the penalty area. It strikes Tim Closer. No appeals for handball or anything. And Jamal Lewis has the ball under control, but he's under fierce pressure by his own corner flag here from Amichevole, and he's done superbly to wriggle away from him. Amichevole then has a nibble at him, and it's a clear free kick. But Jamal Lewis just did really well to get out of a tight squeeze there. And Atalanta lead 2-1, and another change is coming. It looks as if Atalanta are going to bring on Remo Freuler, the Swiss international, an international teammate of Tim Closer and Drmic, and he replaces Daru, who set up the second goal from Muriel. And a change for Norwich as well, with Denis Shrubeni getting ready to replace Onel Hernandez by the looks of things. So 65 minutes and the change is being made, and Denis Shrubeni gets a chance to show what he can do. A player who didn't make a league start last season, Shrubeni, kept out by Pukki and by Rhodes in the form of all the attacking players, but on he comes in a pre-season friendly.
Yeah, and he'll have a point to prove. You know, for some of the what we would call regulars in the squad, this is a pre-season run out. Their kind of place is almost guaranteed. He's going to want to prove something. He's going to want to show the management that, you know, he's not fourth striker or third striker, that, you know, he can bring something to this Premiership party next season.
Well, he's now gone into the number 10 role, with Buendia coming to the left and Roberts on the right. Norwich have got it forward to Byram here, who joins the attack on the right-hand side. He's got Patrick Roberts outside him. Two of the new boys combining well. Roberts finds Leitner, who's gone round at the right-hand side. His cross towards the near post. Goalkeeper gathers. Nobody had made that run to the near post for Norwich City, and it was easy for Galini just to roll the ball out. Atalanta lead 2-1 at Carrow Road, and they're on the attack here. Amichevole plays the ball early, looking for Luis Muriel, who is on a hat-trick. And that's the frustration, really, because for the majority of this game, you would say that Godfrey and Closer have done a good job on Luis Muriel, and they've regularly won the battle against him, and yet here he is with 2 goals to his name.
The hallmarks of a good striker.
Yeah. How often did we say last year that Pukki had a quiet game and scored 2 goals?
Yeah. So and they just pop up when it matters. It's just a knack.
Shrubeni drops the ball over the top of the Atalanta defence and straight out for a throw-in. Denis Shrubeni. I mean, it'll be an interesting season for him, because, you know, the best will in the world, if you don't start in an entire championship season, you'd be doing well to then be playing in the Premier League, wouldn't you? So you do wonder what the future holds for him.
But they must see something, because there's been quite a few exits this summer. Players that are no longer deemed needed. He wasn't a part of that, so it must be something they're looking at long term.
We might see it here, because he's got the ball now. 25 yards from goal, goes past one challenge and then wins a free kick. He was fouled, and then immediately wrestles with the defender Palomino there. Leitner comes into his fellow countryman's aid, and we've got a bit of pushing and shoving now, and this pre-season match has just taken a distinctly unfriendly turn. Denis Shrubeni has come on and shaken things up a little bit.
He has. There you go. There's your answer. If you want somebody to come on and stir the pot a little bit, there's your man.
Now this is Mario Vrancic's range, isn't it, this free kick? Where is he? He's on the bench.
See, that's... You know that I'm a big NFL fan. That's where they have the kind of the special teams. So you can almost, like a whole planned substitution of 4 or 5 people, you can just quickly rush on, take your free kick and then rush back off again. You are wearing a Saints t-shirt tonight, and I thought that was for Southampton. I thought you were a closet Southampton fan. Absolutely not. No.
The new Saints then, the Welsh football team.
Nearly. No. You're getting closer. Right. It's much further west than Wales.
St Helens, says Rob Butler. You'll get there, I'm sure, during Canary Corps. We have a free kick for Norwich, who are 2-1 down. 21 minutes to play. Vrancic, I'm sure, is watching on the side of the pitch. His left foot is probably just twitching here, because he'd fancy this himself, but he's not on the pitch, so it'll be either Kenny McLean the mayor, or it will be Emi Buendia who will take this free kick for Norwich City. They'll try and get them back on level terms. They were probably the better side in the first half, went 1-0 up, but allowed a silly equaliser just before half-time. Atalanta have controlled it, really, since half-time and lead by 2-1. It looks like we're going to have a flurry of substitutions from the Italian side in a moment, so hold on to your hats for that one. The referee is just... someone's having a word in the referee's ear here. I think we've got an unofficial VAR
looking at
going on
the
here.
Incident to see if anybody had done something a little bit unnecessary.
Again, nothing's been announced to the crowd.
I looked as close as I could as it was going on, and barring, I'd say, equal pushing from both sides, that's about as far as it got.
Yeah.
Didn't see any.
The referee is now marching over to the wall. I think he's just pacing it out. He's just talking, I think, to... Is it Palomino in the wall there who got involved in some pushing and shoving afterwards?
Just horsing around.
Yeah, it's a free kick. Very good, Keating. And a free kick for Norwich City. Central position, 25 yards out. It's either going to be Buendia or McLean. It is Buendia. It's hit the wall, and it will be a corner instead for Norwich City. I think Mario Vrancic's place as the chief free kick taker in the Norwich team remains intact.
Completely, yep.
Corner it is instead, which Buendia will go over to take. It's a queue of Atalanta substitutes getting ready to come on. Buendia plays the corner in from the right, headed down by Dermich and couldn't get it on target, so it will be cleared fairly comfortably by the Italians. It's hit Jamal Lewis and fallen nicely for Luis Muriel on the right-hand side, who will unleash a ball over the top, looking for the run of Zapata. Oh, Fairman doesn't know whether to stick or twist. Zapata's in here, puts it past the goalkeeper, but Kenny McLean is chasing back and will clear off the line for a corner. Yeah. That was a lovely ball from Luis Muriel, and you could see poor old Ralph Fairman, it was that no man's land, wasn't it? He didn't know whether to rush out of his penalty area or stay back, because it looked like Zapata was going to get there.
Yeah, I think he's got to come and deal with that.
But as soon as he's hesitated, then the chance to come out is gone.
But what about the pass?
Brilliant for Luis Muriel, who we'd written off as injured a little while ago.
Yeah,
shows what we know.
His game's done, and
he's been fantastic since. Right, here we go. Gosens is going off, the left wing back for Atalanta. One of the defenders, Giamisti, is coming off as well. Looks like Muriel is now coming off, so that lovely pass over the top looks like it will be his last action of the game. And a triple substitution. So on we've come Arkadiusz Reka has come on. And corner taken from the left-hand side. It's going to fall in the penalty area for Atalanta, for Masiello. Masiello gets the ball back across. It's headed up and away by Norwich City. Buendia, I was worried there he was going to pull up for a moment, but I think he was just thinking better of playing a high ball. One of the other substitutes, Castagni, gets the ball forward on the right-hand side. It comes to Barrow, another one of the substitutes, who's quick and roars into the penalty area, and it's cleared away. So, the only time that a VAR message will be actually relayed on the big screen as if a decision has been overturned. So that's what we're being told by Fionn Thomas, who's been to a briefing at Stockley Park on Twitter, so she knows all about this. And it's been one of the big concerns, hasn't it, that the crowd inside the ground aren't going to know what's going on when a VAR decision is being made. I mean, it's pretty clear, isn't it? Because you see the referee standing there with his hands to his earpiece. We'll talk about that in a moment. We have a corner. Atalanta taking, curling it in, punched away by goalkeeper Fairman. An overhead kick then, and Fairman makes a good save. It was Masiello whose first header was turned away, then a brilliant overhead kick. And Fairman has turned it aside for a corner. That was a good save from the German goalkeeper. His best bit of work tonight, I'd say. There, a good double save.
Yeah, coming for the corner and not getting it away cleanly, but getting enough on it, and then having the presence of mind to kind of get back on his feet quickly. And technique for the overhead kick. I thought that was going to go horribly wrong, just given his body shape and where the ball was, but got a good connection with it, and Farman got across and made a good save.
Here comes a corner from the left-hand side, delivered by Atalanta, headed away and behind. Don't quite know how much Dermich knew about that, but it's going to be another corner. So just to reiterate, the big screen, we talked about that being brought into play for VAR, and that will only happen if a decision is overturned. So corner from the left-hand side, in it comes, headed away by Closer. So we have had a couple of little VAR checks, nothing particularly controversial tonight, but it's just interesting to see how it works in practice.
Yeah.
And the fact that one of the problems I remember reading is in the Premier League that they want to keep fans informed, they've got big screens at most grounds, but they haven't at Old Trafford or Anfield, so they can't they can't use them there. So it'll be interesting to see how, as the season goes on. And I remember speaking to Ben Kensell, Norwich's chief operating officer, during the summer, and he was saying he's sure there'll be teething problems and people won't be happy with aspects of it in the first few months of the season, but would expect it to find a smoother transition as the season goes on. So it will be interesting, won't it, what happens?
Yeah, I definitely think there's a place for it.
Castagni heads the ball on for Atalanta. One of that flurry of substitutes that just come on to another one. Musa Barrow, Gambian international, dispossessed, and Norwich have got it back with Jamal Lewis. 15 minutes to go. Norwich trailing 2-1 here to Atalanta in this pre-season match. Fairman, the goalkeeper, passing it out towards McLean, and McLean's under real pressure there. He's gone down, no foul given. It comes to Barrow in the penalty area, turning, twisting, can't get the shot away. Pasalic now strides into the box, forced away from goal by the muscular presence of Tim Klose. Castagni will plough the ball in from the right-hand side. A diving header over the top from Malinowski. And Norwich have just lost their way in this second half, haven't they? First half pretty impressive. I mean, maybe the flurry of changes hasn't helped, but second half not really as fluid. Off comes Moritz Leitner, and here comes Mario Vrancic. So now we do want a free kick on the edge of the penalty area.
Yes, we do.
Vrancic is coming up from Moritz Leitner. And Leitner, I mean, the part he played in the Norwich goal tonight, 2 great passes, just shows his worth to the squad, if not the starting 11 every week. It shows what he can do.
Yeah.
And Max Aarons is coming on for Sampaio.
Yeah, Leitner, the way he plays is a really good fit to the way we play as a team. And I was a little surprised, given kind of his credentials, obviously playing in his past at Champions League level, that we didn't see more of him last season. But that's kind of testament to how well the other lads did or done in keeping him out. But it's the start of a season. You know, we talk about listening to Jerry Goss talk about momentum is kind of lost, and we have to.
Oh, lovely touch from Dermich onto Patrick Roberts, who strides forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Oh, goes to head a shot, and just as he does, he's brought down. And that's a free kick for Norwich City, right on the edge of the D.
If only Vrancic was on.
He now is. Patrick Roberts looks interested, though.
I can't help but feel we're building him up too much.
Well, he's never
another one like Pukki set his bar really, really high for free kicks, so we're almost expecting these to go in.
Well, this is, I'm just remembering the Sheffield Wednesday one. It's the same end of the ground, slightly further forward, a roll or two further forward, but Vrancic might well drag it back a bit just to open up the angle for himself, but he's placed it. I don't think he's touched the ball since coming on, so this could be quite some first touch, couldn't it? 14 minutes to go. Norwich trailing 2-1 in this pre-season match.
Come on,
a free kick.
Take a free kick with your first touch, score, and then go off again.
That would be down to your American football
special teams
earlier on.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. Buendia is still half staking a claim for this, I think, as well, but got to be Vrancic after last season, hasn't it? Everyone back for Atalanta. The 10 or 12,000 inside Carrow Road anticipating a Vrancic special here to get them back level in the game. Here he is with the free kick over the wall and not far over the top. It was over the bar. In fact, it's landed right on the roof of the net eventually. Vrancic with a sighter, but we'd certainly rather he put the one in against Sheffield Wednesday than that one in the pre-season friendly, so we won't be too harsh on him. 2-1 to Atalanta, and as is often the case with friendlies, the momentum, the pattern of the game just sort of goes, doesn't it, in the second half?
Yeah, and given the kind of size of their team sheet I'm looking at here, they're going to make more substitutes and it's going to kind of get broken up a little bit more, but we're looking at kind of the squad positives and the individual positives that we've gotten out already. Godfrey, this half, given that Atlanta have had more of the ball, has stood out for me in the way he dealt with Muriel. I know he scored 2 goals.
Atalanta are in the Norwich penalty area here. They've worked an opportunity for Malinowski to get it across, and it's been turned into the net there by Zapata. Did he use his hand? This is an opportunity. It did look like handball, but this is an opportunity for the VAR to come in. They may not even bother using it because it was pretty clear that Zapata just almost punched that ball into the net, didn't he? It's a handball. It's a free kick to Norwich City. The ball's already on the ground. It's an obvious handball. They're going through the formalities, I think, of checking it, but the fact that Norwich have already got the ball down for the free kick shows that everybody knows, and Zapata didn't even try and claim it, did he? He just knocked the ball in with his wrist. And whether the referee books him or not, he certainly would have done if this was a competitive game.
Yeah.
But he hasn't there. So I think they're just using it as an excuse to check that the video replays are working, but he didn't really need it there. Zapata putting it into the net, but yeah, clear handball. Norwich have taken the free kick. Back to goalkeeper Fairman, who with a right foot launches it. Ball's bounced back into the Norwich half. Lewis, the left back, retrieves it, but perhaps shouldn't have done, because as soon as he kept it in, then Barrow has stolen it from him, and he's quick and he's difficult to get a handle on, and he's away on the right hand side. The support from Castagni in front of him, who will get the ball across, but Lewis has recovered well, blocked it, and it's behind for Atalanta's 10th corner, I make it, of this friendly match.
It's strange, because last season when we had a goal kick, kind of playing the short goal kick was a big part of our build-up, and now it seems just in this game that I've seen that the law's changed, we seem to struggle with it a little bit more. We don't seem to have gotten out as easy as what we would have done last season.
Corner really whipped in by Malinovsky towards the near post, headed up in the air, and Srebeni takes 2 or 3 touches in his own box before eventually launching it into the rapidly darkening skies. Vrancic heads it on and has made something of that. Patrick Roberts gives chase, but Atalanta will get it back to their goalkeeper Galini. Galini passing it out calmly. That's not a good ball though, wrong the edge of the penalty area, and Castagni has to play it back to Galini. Norwich have just pressed up here and made it a little more difficult for Atalanta to get out than it looked like it might be. Max Aarons gets a touch but can't control, and Atalanta now have worked it over halfway, and Norwich could be under a bit of pressure again here. Srebeni though going in on Mazziello, bringing him down, and a free kick to Atalanta on halfway. It's BBC Radio Norfolk, 10 minutes to go. Norwich City 1, Atalanta 2. Canary call coming up at full time. If you've been watching this game online tonight and listening to our commentary alongside it, then let us know what you've made of it, any little adjustments you would make. We do still have 9 days before the transfer window closes. It closes the night before the start of the season. Atalanta have given it away to Srebeni. He gets the ball into the penalty area here, looking for Patrick Roberts, but he's tackled. And Atalanta clear, and Zapata gives chase now, left hand side. Zapata taking on Ben Godfrey. Godfrey's trying to see him by the corner flag and does well there, and the Colombian overruns it and out for a goal kick.
He's
and
done
again,
that bit really well tonight, hasn't he?
Without touching the ball there, Godfrey has seen it behind for a goal kick, and that's why he's scratching your head a bit that Luis Muriel is going to leave tonight with 2 goals, the Atalanta striker, because Godfrey and Closer, bar one mistake, have not had a bad game. Dermich trying to play the ball forward. Now off the field here go Jamal Lewis and Ataboa, wrestling with each other, and the free kick has gone Norwich's way.
Can't rob.
It was all a bit of a comedy, wasn't it? The two of them went bundling off the field. Norwich have got the free kick. It's come to Patrick Roberts in the centre circle. Roberts spreading the play to Max Aarons. Looks if Norwich might have more substitutes ready to come on in a moment. McLean finds Vrancic, who went close with that free kick a moment ago as they push for an equaliser. Srebeni holds it up, tries to work it towards the right hand side, gets tackled though, and Atalanta emerge with the ball. Srebeni sliding in, and Buendia goes in for the challenge, and it's gone out of play for throw into Atalanta over on the far side. Another couple of changes coming up. I think Adam Ida's going to see some action now. Jamal Lewis goes off, Philip Heiser comes on. Heiser, who was in that curious position of joining Norwich in January last season, so was here and felt part of the promotion team but never played because Lewis was doing so well. And Buendia is going to make way for Adam Ida, the 18-year-old who's yet to make his full first-team debut for Norwich City, but we know this summer he's been promoted to the first-team dressing room, the Irish youngster. He's really impressed in pre-season so far. I'm sure he'll get a go in the first team at some point, maybe in the League Cup to begin with, just as Max Aarons did last year. But Adam Ida is on, and Andrea Mazziello has gone off for Atalanta. Roger Ibanez, the Brazilian, has come on, only managed to make one appearance for Atalanta after joining in January, but he's on now, the experienced Mazziello, who took a knock a moment ago. 7 minutes to play. Norwich City 1, Atalanta 2. BBC Radio Norfolk will be here again on Saturday, bringing you coverage of Norwich City's match against Toulouse, the final pre-season friendly. And it's a 4 o'clock kickoff on Saturday. We've also got commentary of Kings Lynn's first match of the National North season at Guiseley. Here come Atalanta. One touch pass towards Barrow, edge of the penalty area, lays it off, comes back to Barrow. There's a real chance here for 3-1, and the chance is taken. Norwich City undone there. One touch passing, a good flowing move from Atalanta, whose quality is shown as this game has gone on, and that ball is rifled into the back of Ralph Fearman's net. And having looked so good in this first half, Norwich City find themselves 3 goals to 1 down here.
Yeah, I just hope it's not kind of parallel to what we'll see as the season starts, where we can be 60 minutes into a game and be talking about how well Norwich have played and chances they've created, but be 3-1 down or be 2-0 down, because it's the points and the wins that you want. Yes, you want to play well, but I don't want us to be one of those teams that just plays well and loses.
Yeah, Pasalic it was who got the finishing touch there, firing it in. The on-loan Chelsea midfielder, really emphatic finish, but just slick play, took them right through the Norwich defence.
Yeah.
Max Aarons now for Norwich City, giving it to Vrancic. Norwich 3-1 down with 6 minutes to go. They've come back from this sort of position before, but let's not get too carried away. It's only a friendly. You were with us for that momentous game against Nottingham Forest.
One of the memorable games I've seen.
On
Boxing Day. Yeah.
Norwich were 3-0 down with, I can't remember what it was now, 3-0 down with about 12 minutes to go.
Yeah,
wasn't
it was.
And
Yeah.
drew 3-3. So
did we have somebody just down there from another broadcaster saying that it was kind of game over and Norwich were buried? And
yeah, they were never buried last season.
No.
But maybe they are tonight. 3-1 down. Goalkeeper being changed now by Atalanta for the final 5 minutes or so. They're also taking off Pasalic, who's just scored, and Palomino, another one who's I thought was going to play the full 90 minutes. And so the players coming on will be Rossi, the goalkeeper.
it's
Rossi.
really tricky to kind of gauge where you fare as a squad in games like this, given kind of how the teams chop and change and how broken up it gets. So you look at the individual positives.
Isa for Norwich. Rabeni looking for Roberts, goes down, nothing given, and they've cleared it away. And Duvan Zapata bursting over halfway for Atalanta, who lead by 3-1. He gives it to Barrow on the edge of the penalty area here. Barrow into the box, clips it across, won't fall for Zapata, but there's a player coming in on it here in the area to the left of goal, and then Malinowski it is who gets the shot high over the bar. Recker it was who cut it back to him, and Malinowski has skied that one high over the bar. And with 4 minutes to go, it's Norwich 1, Atalanta 3, and the heat has gone out of this one now, hasn't it? That third goal and the flurry of substitutions. I mean, it always happens in friendlies, but that has taken the momentum out of it from a Norwich point of view. Will Daniel Farke have learnt much tonight?
A huge amount, I think. I mean, this is the first game I've seen of our pre-season, and been impressed and taken a lot of positives from a lot of things that I've seen, and I'm sure he would have done as well.
Just lost possession there inside their own half, Norwich, through Max Aarons. Zapata on the left-hand side, gets it across, closer, stabs it away. Has turned rather into one-way traffic this, but Adam Ida does really well there, battling to take the ball away from his own penalty area. Soon comes back though with Barrow on the right-hand side. Barrow playing a little exchange with one of the substitutes who's recently come on, Pessina. Now it's played up towards the edge of the penalty area. Norwich need to make a challenge here. They do with him closer, and it's a foul. He's brought down Roger Ibanez, the 20-year-old, and it's a free kick to Atalanta on the edge of the Norwich penalty area. 3-1 Atalanta lead, 2.5 minutes to go.
Don't think at any stage of the game tonight he would have had his perceived strongest 11 on the pitch at the same time.
I mean, you've still got they've got 9 days in terms of the transfer window. They don't seem in any hurry to make another signing.
No.
How much do they need to, would you say?
I think if they find somebody that is the right fit, and when I talk about right fit, there's no positions that kind of stand out as being need to be filled immediately. But if they find somebody that brings more...
There's Malinowski with the free kick, drives it, gets a deflection off the wall and behind for a corner.
Without upsetting the balance of kind of what's already there. And one thing as well, I mean, if you're part of the academy set up at Norwich, whether it be a member of staff there or a coach or even one of the players coming through, you're going into a Premier League season and you're looking at Godfrey on the pitch, Cantwell, you're looking at Max Aarons and Jamal Lewis, and Ides has just come on. So the manager's
taken by Atalanta over the head of Fairman, the goalkeeper, chased out towards that left-hand side now by Pessina, one of the substitutes, swung back in from the left-hand side. Godfrey tries to get to it. It's fallen for Barrow in the penalty area. He's got some room for a shot here, turned away smartly by Fairman. And out of play it goes for an Atalanta throw-in over on the far side.
Yeah, good save, good reactions by Farman again. But yeah, just what I was saying about the academy and Farke's not scared to throw young players in if he thinks that they're good enough, and that must be really assuring for for the young lads and the coaching staff.
Atalanta get another ball into the Norwich penalty area, which Kenny McLean deals with. Just a sense the last 5-10 minutes they've been queuing up a little bit, Atalanta. Norwich haven't been able to get out. And it's ended up being a fairly comfortable 3-1 for the Italian side, but certainly for the first half it didn't look that way at all. Norwich were the better team. Taking the lead through Todd Campbell, but allowing Atalanta back into it with that mistake towards the end of the first half. Muriel scored, he added a second just past the hour mark, and then Pasalic has made it 3-1 and added a bit of gloss. Just giving Daniel Farke a bit of food for thought, I'm sure, although that third goal arriving after a flurry of substitutions. Here's Vrancic, plays the ball forward to Srebeni, who's touched back there to McLean. McLean's chopped down, that's a clear foul by Malinovsky, who skied one over the bar a few moments ago, and a free kick to Norwich City. Is closer, gives it to Godfrey, just a few seconds to go, and then we will be talking in terms of just one friendly to go for Norwich City before the real stuff starts in 10 evenings time at Anfield. They're only going to have a minute of stoppage time at the end of this match. Adam Ida showing his talent here on the left hand side, holding off the challenge of the vastly more experienced Harteboa, the Dutch international. Back it comes to Tim Klose in the centre circle. Klose, the Swiss international, plays it towards the right hand side. Max Aarons now holding on to possession, finds Patrick Roberts, back again to Godfrey, on to Aarons, who gives it to Godfrey again. Ida, clever touch, looking for Max Aarons on the right hand side. Forward he comes from full-back. Aarons looking to get the ball into the penalty area where it should be cleared, and indeed is cleared. McLean goes to meet it, but Malinovsky's beaten him to it, and he sets away Barrow, and Barrow scampers beyond Philip Heiser, and he's one-on-one with the goalkeeper. This could be 4-1. It's 4-1 for Atalanta. Barrow, the Gambian substitute, sprinting beyond the Norwich back line, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, finishing smartly. And this is a little bit of a Premier League lesson for Norwich City, because without playing particularly badly for a lot of this game, they find themselves 4-1 behind, and that's just how easy it can happen against a quality opponent.
Yeah, it just how quickly they can create or find a chance out of nothing. I mean, we were 7-8 seconds ago down in their half near the corner flag, putting an attack together of our own. Bit of miscommunication, poor pass. They break on us, and 3 passes, decisive.
Yeah, so clinical. And that was pretty much the last kick of the game. So food for thought there for Daniel Farke, and that's what you want from a pre-season friendly, really. Norwich City have been soundly beaten in the end by 4-1 by a team who'll be playing Champions League football next season. I wouldn't say we've learnt anything new there, but clearly it's the lessons about taking your chances when they come along, because Norwich did have a few clear-cut opportunities that they couldn't take, and certainly the importance of keeping the back door shut, because Atalanta in the end have won that game with plenty to spare, but for the most part that didn't look like it was going to be the case. 4-1 it has finished. Norwich the better side in the first half. That seems a long time ago now, but I'll stick by that. Todd Campbell put them in front on the quarter hour after some good play from Moritz Leitner, and Norwich did play some nice stuff until the 45th minute, really, when that poor pass from Klose back into his own penalty area, and Luis Muriel tucked it away. Muriel got his second, firing in after a Darun pass to make it 2-1 on the hour. And then, as both sides made plenty of substitutions, any sort of pattern or momentum or rhythm went out of the game, and Norwich City's chances were fewer and further between. Pasalic put Atalanta 3-1 up with 6 minutes to go, and Moussa Barrow, the 20-year-old from Gambia, sprinted away to clinically tuck in goal number 4 with pretty much the last kick of the game. Atalanta have won this game by 4-1. Not a fair reflection on the first half, but a useful reality check, Adrian Kuth, what can happen against Champions League opposition, because Norwich are going to be facing plenty of teams like that over the coming months.
Yeah, and again, it's for me, it's really important that we don't get too drawn into how it finished, and we remember that first 35-40 minutes and how well we played, how comfortable we looked in possession. You know, is there work to do? Is it going to be a tough job for this season? Of course it is, but I still think that we've seen glimpses in individual performances and kind of some of the team play that we're good enough to hold our own against teams. The question is, can we do it consistently over a 90-minute or a 95-minute period? Because ultimately, that's where games are going to be won or lost. It's great having games where we play well for the first 30 minutes, but if we lose the game 4-1, that will mean nothing come next season.
Pukki had a couple of good chances, and the ones that get away, they hurt more, don't they, in against opposition like this, because it tends to be a long time before another one comes along. So